baby boomer fans. We are Jackie and Janine, the Pfeiffer sisters, and love to talk about the 1950s, inviting you to reminisce with us as we explore experiences of that decade. Grab your favorite malt or Green River. Make sure you are wide awake and get ready to be inspired about the 1950s. Welcome to the 1950s Fun Chat.
Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us today. We have another great history lesson from the 1950s. And boy, oh boy, Jackie, did you ever know that there was such a thing as the 1950s Museum?
No, we continue to be educated, don't we?
Yes, it's wonderful. And a 1950s town. We've hit the jackpot here. Okay.
Exactly.
Can you take us away, Jackie?
Folks, so glad you joined us. Look in the upper corner of one of your screen. I don't know if it's going to be right or left. And note the little book that's up there. It's called While the Windmill Watched, a slice of rural America in the 1950s. So that is recent history, folks. 1950s just happened to be not that far away. Also, please look at the banner below. www.whilethewindmillwatch.com will give you so much information about the book, about the authors, where we might be signing books, about the vendors. We have 37 vendors now where you could purchase the book, and all the previous 1950s fun chats. This is number
215.
Yes, 215. So as Janine mentioned, today, this 1950s Fun Chat will focus on a village which was created during that decade and a collection of articles in a 1950s museum which interprets a home from the 48 to 1953 era with period items, a classroom, and a guide to social trends. So our guest is Jane Nicoll, and she was born in the 50s in Rockford, Illinois, but raised all over northern Illinois. She and her brother consider Oregon, Illinois, to be their hometown. So Jane earned a bachelor's in fine arts and a master's in library science from the University of Illinois. She worked for 25 years at the Park Forest Public Library, where she assisted in building the Park Forest Local History Collection and Archive beginning in 1981, after which she became a certified archivist in charge of that collection. So when she left the library, she did some archival museum contracting and volunteering, and then became the Archivist Museum Director for the Park Forest History Society in 2005. She has been the volunteer museum director for the society since assisting with the creation of the 1950s Park Forest House Museum in 1998. Busy lady. In 2007, though, Jane was inducted into the Park Forest Historical Society Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Jane. So, Park Forest, Illinois is a village in a south suburb of Chicago, and it's the first fully planned post-World War II suburb. Jane and Carl Stover, and a 29-year-old naval reservist and a retired university professor, have lived in their house for 42 years, where they raised 3 sons. Now, since that time, 2 daughters-in-law and 2 granddaughters have joined the family. So, Jane, we do welcome you to the 1950s Fun Chat.
Mm-hmm.
So,
thank you.
Yep, we're going to talk about this planned 1950s town, as well as something that resulted from your interest in the 1950s. So, to begin with, what makes the village of Park Forest important to mid-20th century history?
Well, the fact that it was the first fully planned post-World War II suburb, and the town was built by one company, American Community Builders, and it's been the subject of a number of sociological studies and books on city planning, including William H. White's The Organization Man, Gregory Randall's America's Original GI Town, Dolores Hayden's Building American Suburbia, and Jerry Schnee's book, Park Forest Dreams and Challenges. We're featured in the exhibit America on the Move at the National Museum of American History in Washington, D.C., as well as in the companion book to that and on their educational website.
So
And
Jane, what does it take to become a part of that book? You're on the move. What does that mean? Do you know?
Oh, well, On the Move, it's a companion book to America on the Move. They just gave the book a different title.
I see. Okay.
So this city, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So we're studied because it was built by one company. And we're studied because we had one of the first 4 shopping centers in the world. And then also because of our peaceful integration in December 1959.
Okay. So I understand this was established for veterans. So may non-veterans be allowed to live there too?
Yes. Veterans were given preference after World War II, but others could qualify to get in.
Okay. And what were those qualifications? Do you happen to recall?
No, I haven't seen them written. We've heard them talked about because our first vice president was one of the men who interviewed prospective tenants, and they were looking for college educated, preferably with educated wives if they could get them. So because they were the landlords of the whole town, and there weren't many restrictive landlord laws, so they could pick and choose who they wanted.
And one time I thought you had mentioned to me that some of the families who chose then and were received to live there had worked on the atomic bomb. Is that correct?
Yes, several families. We were a bedroom community to several of the companies in Chicago area, and Argonne National Laboratories, which was then located at University of Chicago, just at the end of our, just a train ride away, was a bedroom community for the people that worked there. So many men lived here from Argonne that they sent buses to get them too, eventually. And yes, so 2 of the village presidents worked on the bomb, and several other residents.
Okay.
And was this when people moved to Park Forest or were selected to live there? Did they usually live their entire lives there, even through retirement?
There are families that did that. But these, as part of the premise of William H. White and the organization MAN, these were upwardly mobile white-collar workers for the most part. And they did get transferred frequently. And in those days, you went where your company sent you.
Yes.
But we know of families who returned here 4 times. Every time they got sent back to Chicago, they came back to Park Forest.
Did they live were they able to live in the same house when they returned?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So there were, in the beginning, there were 3,010 of the rental units. They were townhomes, and they did have different floor plans, and they were divided into courts, and you might be able to get back into your own court that you lived in or near your old court.
So did each court then have its own design, its own floor plan?
No. No, not really. They were fairly similar. There might be a duplex at the end of the court, and they were parking courts. You parked in the court, and then probably 6 to 8 units on either side, and then at the end as well, maybe 6 to 8 or 4. It depends. But the floor plans could be 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, and there were some 1-bedrooms that were where the 2 stories were divided into
Okay.
one, and they shared the basement.
Okay.
So at that particular time, and maybe even still now, was Park Forest, Illinois, kind of the place where you would want to put down your roots?
Yeah, certainly. I think there was a time, yes. Well, the main attraction, you have to realize after World War II, there'd been no buildings since the Depression,
Mhm.
because of the Depression. And then also during World War II, all the building materials went to factories and wartime housing around factories
Uh-huh.
and barracks.
Mm-hmm.
And so when all these veterans were coming back, there was an incredible shortage of housing in America. And that's why the builders decided to build and give preference to veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And
Did-
FHA required them to build multifamily homes first to house a large number of
Mm-hmm.
veterans or people, any people. But we have stories of people that were in Chicago and they were only able to get like a studio apartment, and they had to put the crib in the closet. And you were lucky if you had children or you were pregnant that you could even get an apartment.
Oh. So you mentioned one business, but were there other businesses such as a post office, a hotel, a gas station, grocery store, bowling alley, anything like that?
Yes. Yes. It was a large shopping center with Marshall Fields and Goldblatt's as anchor stores.
Oh, that is large.
Nice.
And Marshall
And then-
Fields was the first one built in a shopping center.
Uh-huh.
And we had a theater that seated over 1,000 people.
Fantastic. Is that still running?
No, the building's still here, but
Mhm.
it stopped running when projectors mostly went digital. They
Mhm.
couldn't afford to convert to digital.
Right.
Let's see.
Was
And then
it-
there was a bowling alley.
Okay.
There were bars. So the shopping center was built to be regional, and it was regional for a long time. It was a regional attraction to the area.
Mm-hmm.
And the bank and the post office were also in the shopping center.
Mm-hmm.
The bank originally was owned by American Community Builders too.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but
Was this
eventually
Oh,
Sears came in and closed off the entrance from Western Avenue, which was the real visual approach regionally to the shopping center. And then they moved, because the parking was full in the 60s, the late 60s, they moved the bank and the post office across the street and the grocery store across another street, and they took all their foot traffic away. So
Oh.
don't do that when you build your shopping centers.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
There were churches. That was part of the fully planned.
Okay.
Part of the plan is that American Community Builders donated land for a certain number of churches, and they supplied land for schools, and they helped them finance the first schools because there's always a delay of 1 year in taxes. So they couldn't build schools without ACB's help in that first year.
Mm-hmm.
Jane, is this the only community like this that was built by American Community Builders in that 40s, 50s area?
The only one they built.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes. At least the Long Island Levittown was built before us by about a year and a half. And they take umbrage because Gregory Randall's book, America's Original GI Town, they have said we were the original GI town because we also gave preference to veterans. But Gregory did not name his book, his publisher did. So
Okay. So Park Forest was the original GI town.
Mm-hmm.
no,
Oh,
that's the title of the book, and it's called that often, but Levittown,
okay.
New York,
Yeah. No, New York. Okay.
built a year and a half before us,
Okay.
claims that they were. So
Okay, so how did the library start? The local history collection and archive, and why does society and why does the society still maintain it?
Well, the library started the collection. There was like half a file drawer that our predecessors had kept of various anniversary editions or brochures or things as they found them or were donated. In 1980, the library had an oral history grant, and they were interviewing pioneer residents. And the interest in that and programs, public programs they were running about that, made people realize things they had were probably pertinent to the history of the town.
Mm-hmm.
And they began to bring them in boxes to the library. And my supervisor had only been in town since 1976. I came in 79. And we had to do some research to find out answers to their questions. Even Village Hall couldn't answer questions. So when we were confronted with this material, we began to organize it in 1981, and it just kept coming in. It's still coming in. So, yeah. And then the Historical Society took it over after the library had put it into storage. And most of it was in storage for 5 years, where I couldn't get access to it because there had been flooding in the basement at the library.
Mhm.
And we didn't have a space, but we had taken some of it with us, the photographs and things that we consulted all the time. We could take with us, but we had no space till we found a space here at the church.
Did you find that when you were starting to dig through that information, you just couldn't quit? It would just, one thing led to the next, and it was exciting to have it all unfold.
Yeah. Yeah. And people, the pioneers were still here. The pioneers and their children, but mostly the pioneers, the actual people who founded everything. They founded all the organizations. There were no organizations because there was no town.
Sure.
So they had to go get the charters for everything. And they got charters for everything. So children joked about, I'm going to a meeting instead of let's play school. They'd go to meetings. And the mothers too. The National Council of Jewish Women was one of the first organizations. And so those people could tell me their stories. They were telling the oral history transcribers, interviewers, but they would also tell us. And then we began to have, we didn't form the Historical Society till 1985 to support the collection at the library. And we began to do programs, and they would be panel discussions of pioneers on different topics in Park Forest history. So these people became my friends. Then it became my job to record what they were saying to me, even writing down, and knowing.
Yes. Well, the building that you're in now with the museum, can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, we're in the former St. Mary's Catholic Church. It just became the former on June 29th of this year. And we're in the school portion with the archive is in one classroom down the hall. And then the museum is in two classrooms. We needed a space for the archives. So we found that January 2012 after they closed the school in the fall of 2011. And that we were getting thrown out of our second home that was an original rental townhome. And I realized I was storing stuff in one of these rooms, and it was divided with a bookcase and everything. Didn't realize it was two rooms, and the janitor said, I don't know why they didn't give you this room. it's 2 rooms.
Hmm.
And I think we had permission to move in here within a week.
Yeah.
We were desperate. We didn't know how we could possibly display it here, but it was a place to bring it all. And it just turned out beautifully.
So do you pay rent?
Yes.
And the money comes from donations?
Right. We get donations, and we had been getting a $5,000 challenge match grant from the village,
Okay. Wonderful.
So
and that we had good luck with that getting matched. Now we will be moving to the village hall,
and
Oh,
will that
which has
space
a
be
lower
larger?
level. Pardon?
Will that be a larger space for you?
In some ways, possibly, but it was a sort of village-run nurse's office, medical office, and it's divided up into little exam rooms. So we have to see what we can do.
Yes.
We may
how-
take down walls and things like that.
boy, it's just like, I mean, the vision that you have to have, Jane, in order to make this museum come alive for people who want to visit there. And tell us now, how would people come to visit the 1950s museum in Park Forest? How would they get there? How would they know about you?
We have a Facebook page for the museum and a separate one for the society.
Okay.
And we have a website, parkforesthistory.org.
All right.
We get found, we have Google pages too. And if they're looking for a museum and they're in the area, or they're looking for something 1950s, we have a lot of keywords out there.
Okay.
So,
All right.
but they also hear about us. We do a little bit of advertising locally.
I think you had mentioned to me that you have many visitors from foreign countries.
Yeah, we've had them from impressive foreign countries, let's say, because we had a woman when we were still in the original rental townhome. A woman from Shanghai. She was an American from Shanghai, was coming to lecture to it was to a mid-century modern organization in Chicago, and the only thing she wanted to see was our museum.
Good
And
advertising.
then we had a student from Russia who was studying in Kansas, I believe, and we didn't realize when he was coming here, he took the train from Kansas just to see this museum.
Oh my.
Oh, good for
And
him.
then we've had a visitor from Norway, but it's a little bit of a cheat because she used to live here. but
Okay.
but still, she came from Norway to see it twice. So
So how many active members are in the society, and do they each have a different focus? Or they all kind of work together?
I'm not sure. We're just in the membership drive. We don't have a large membership, but I think it's somewhere between 50 and 70 members.
Ooh,
But some
yeah.
of those are across the country.
Oh, so they're not
Because
all
we have a
working-
large number of former residents who are members.
Sure. Makes sense.
And we have a board of, I think, about, I want to say 9 right now. It needs to be a bigger board, but getting board members is a hard thing these days. And I have a number of volunteers to be docents here, and some volunteers that work in the archive too.
Okay.
Those
So
are very different things.
When people come to the 1950s museum, do you give them a guided tour, or are they allowed to wander through the exhibits?
Well, we like to try to give them the introduction because one of our purposes is to educate people about Park Forest and why it's special. But we don't force it on them if they really don't want to hear it. They can carry around a copy to read of our tour, or we let them wander if that's all they want to do, but we do follow them around and see what they're talking about or saying. If they're former residents, they'll be full of stories themselves
Sure.
and tell us things about either the things that we're seeing or about Park Forest, and we want to catch those stories too.
Oh, yes. Do you have a way of recording those stories and keeping them available in the archives?
No, not as they're telling me in the museum, no.
Mm-hmm.
We have asked over the years for people to send us memoirs.
Yes.
Because we had oral histories. I'm still editing oral histories from 1981.
Oh.
And getting them put onto the Illinois Digital Archives site. And that they slowed down during COVID, and I certainly slowed down during COVID. I lost all my volunteers stopped in the archive, and we closed the museum for a while. But it's just ratcheting back up with things going on in my life, or it makes it hard. So there's 77 of those oral histories that are pioneers, and they weren't typed into Word. They were on typewriters. So they have to be retyped.
Oh my.
And then there's volunteer did 94 oral histories with the veterans in Park Forest. And she transcribed about 46 of them, but the rest need to be transcribed even.
Yeah, you do need a whole passel full of volunteers, don't you? To help get that job done. Yes.
Right. And we think that we'll attract more when we move into the center of town. We're at the edge of town right now. And now we're the only people in the building. So
yes.
It's a little imposing for some of the older people.
Is there a high school there, grade school yet, or high schooler?
We have several grade schools and a middle school, a very large middle school. The school district closed our high school, which was the original high school for Rich Township, like 3 years ago, I think, maybe more. Oh, it's more because it was 2020. And so that's been a blow.
Yes.
So that building is vacant?
Yes. They're trying to organize with other school districts to have it become a career training center.
Oh, nice.
Good idea.
And then they debate whether they would tear down the building and build a new building, which now the building materials are much more expensive than they were in 2020.
Yes.
So I hear talk they may keep the building, but it's a controversy.
Yes.
We're not happy.
Jane, can you take us on a little tour of the museum? I think you've got some beautiful artifacts there that perhaps a lot of our viewers will identify with.
Okay.
Yeah. During that tour, would you mind identifying the item that you feel is most important to the collection when you get there? Tell us which one that one might be, if you have one.
I don't know if I do.
Oh, they're all important.
Yeah, they're all important. Okay. And we should explain that on my phone, we're for some reason getting a mirror image. So this is reversed. There we go. So
look at that refrigerator.
I'll just, let me close it a minute. We opened it before. This would be a working refrigerator, the General Electric from 1947. And actually, we originally in this whole development had Serval gas refrigerators. And it was the largest building development to have natural gas at that time. So now we can go back to there.
That little freezer and those ice cube trays, and what are those, popsicle?
Yeah, Tupperware popsicle.
Yep.
Molds.
Right away.
Yeah. Okay. And then this is the kitchen cupboard.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people love, well, I've got them on the table now. We have the aluminum glasses,
Yes.
um,
Didn't they
but they're
kept
on the table.
they kept liquid so cold.
And they,
Mhm.
they sweat too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So we have lots of things, and you can open the drawers and look inside and see. It's weird
Are
for
they-
me to see it in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those the original handles on the cabinets? Or were they silver?
Pretty original. I'm not sure that they're absolutely, they've been on since we've had them. This is the original kitchen out of the last townhome we were in.
Okay.
We moved it here, and we were allowed to take it with us because they wanted us out because they were going to sell the whole development. And then we had a cabinet company in town built us a platform to put it on because this is a classroom. It's all lined with blackboards. There was no way to attach it.
Oh,
Hmm. And so that pantry, was that a traditional style pantry for the 50s?
Yes,
a
I think so.
standalone.
What they would actually have in the townhomes, which we represent, is they had a built-in closet like this.
Oh, okay.
But somebody offered me this just before we opened and said, "Would you like this?" And I'm like, "Perfect."
Uh-huh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
the
here we are. We
stove.
decorate for holidays. And since we're going to stay here a while longer, we'll decorate for Christmas and be open by the weekend after Thanksgiving with Christmas. And that's very special. And we aren't sure if we'll still be here to do Valentine's Day in February.
So when
But-
you decorate for Christmas, do you have 1950s type decor decorations with the rope?
Tinsel?
Yeah, the tinsel or the icicles and the lights that were popular
Yeah.
then?
We don't put tinsel on. We actually have a black forest green aluminum tree.
Oh.
And it has glass ball ornaments
Oh.
attached to it.
Oh.
And we have a rotating base that was sold with it.
Uh-huh.
And so it rotates and plays 4 carols. And it's very special. We do put twinkle lights on very carefully.
Mhm.
We found out why you don't put them on. We had a spark issue, but it's not smart to put them on. But the light that you would put on a silver tree will not reflect off it. So, but we have our own mid-century ornaments that we put on too.
I did not realize that aluminum trees came in a green.
Now,
But
from
he-
that company, the Sea Sincere tree company
Uh-huh.
in Chicago. We have the original boxes, so we know where it came from.
Oh.
And we probably have one of the only sets of boxes to the tree that exists.
I
So
bet
we have dolls, and we have the girly candles, which we also have. I put out a few for Thanksgiving in between Halloween and getting up Christmas all the way.
And what kind of candles did you call them?
Girly Halloween, Gurley.
Oh, okay.
And these were sold in the dime store. So that's a big memory thing for people.
Yes.
And this is interesting because it's just a postcard of this Norman Rockwell painting.
Okay.
Moving Day, I believe it's called, Moving In. And that was done by Norman Rockwell for a 1967 Look magazine article by an editor from Look that lived here. And it's about integration in Park Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So there is probably quite a story about that topic as well, wouldn't there be? The integration in a park forest.
It's one of the things that we're most researched for nowadays.
And the dolls. What are those certain kinds of dolls? certain
Yeah.
names?
These are the mostly wet and drink dolls. This is Diety Baby, and that's Betsy Wetsy, and two Tiny Tears dolls. You can see the big 20-inch.
Oh,
And then there's a little bit more modern African American Tiny Tears back there.
okay.
And some of the doll accessories we'd all remember from
Mm-hmm.
playing with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
And I noticed you had a radio, a table radio back in your kitchen. Well, that was kind of
Yes.
the popular style of the radio back then, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And we have another, I'll show the dining room table here.
Okay. Is
We
that
do.
Fiesta ware then? Or
Yes, we have some pieces of Fiesta ware. There's some in the china cabinet too. We have some of the atomic red, so we don't put that on display much. It's kind of behind glass.
And so if people give you donations of Fiesta ware, do they want it to be the original Fiesta ware, or would you take dishware from Fiesta ware of today?
No, we don't want that.
Okay.
You've got to keep it.
I see a floor lamp in the back there in the back right-hand corner. At least it was my right-hand corner. And that looks very typical of the 1950s. Well,
yes, and that's interesting because that's a torchère. And the FHA required in these 3010 apartments, you had to have a hardwired light in the apartment. And so every apartment had this hardwired into the dining room. And people hated it because you couldn't move it. Yeah. You didn't have a choice for where it was because it was hardwired in. And we had one man for a few years loan us his, but he moved and wanted it back. And then one of our members said, I still have mine from when they let us cut the cord. I put it in the basement, and he had lived in his unit since 1950. had it in the basement still. And we had another one that's someone painted bronze. And lots of people kept them for lamps. So there are some of these around the country. And then this is another doll cabinet.
Dolls were such a big part of a child's play.
Excuse me. Yeah.
And
we did
all sizes and kinds.
Right. Yeah. Little girls just love the dolls, and the Ginny dolls and the small 8-inch baby dolls all had wardrobes that they got new wardrobes every year. A lot of the clothes would be made by moms at home.
Oh, sure.
Not just your mom, but it was piecework that was put out for women to earn money making these.
Okay.
And,
I noticed a lot of the furniture is that blonde color furniture. Remember that was?
Yeah.
And that was the thing to have?
Right. Right. And then we had in our lecture to begin with that most of the residents would have the blonde furniture, and then we had people give us their pictures of their mother's colonial furniture that was very dark, and they said my mother wouldn't have that blonde stuff in the house. So, yeah.
And do you have some toys from the 50s too, other than dolls?
Oh yeah. Here we've got Howdy Doody.
Oh yes.
Boys, metal toys, toy guns.
That airplane's cool.
And the Davy Crockett.
Yeah.
The hat
album. That's not an original hat, but it's a good reproduction. And this series of books, this is Daniel Boone. And this was a series, Junior Deluxe editions. We have some other titles of it too, but we had those growing up.
Are those children's books or books to be read to children?
These are children's books.
Okay.
And we have, I have a drawer of children's books, so we can change the children's books with most holidays.
Hmm.
If, I don't have Halloween books though. But you remember Rudy Kazooie?
No.
Oh.
I hate that it's backwards. I'm sorry we couldn't
Oh no, it's good
figure
on
that
our
out
end.
first. But yeah, and the Slinky was
Yes.
invented about the time the village started. So
Yes.
we've got a Slinky. And people have given us cameras.
Uh-huh.
And we have records. We have a record player.
Are you play those vinyls in the museum?
No,
Okay.
no.
Well, and that TV is kind of interesting too.
Who?
The television.
Oh, yeah, the TV. Yeah. We didn't have one at first. Well, we started as a 2-month temporary exhibit. You know, we were started for the 50th anniversary, and we were the kickoff event was that museum that we had for 2 months in an empty rental townhome that we were allowed to use.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're in our 27th year. So
Good for you.
What a
Yeah,
lot of work.
we didn't have a TV to represent 1948 because most people didn't have one.
Correct.
So when we got to about the time that we had been around for 5 years, we started trying to find a TV.
Mhm.
And the story is like with the refrigerator and the TV is always, yes, you can have it if you'll come and get it.
Oh, sure.
And these things are unbelievably heavy. So at the time, I had a son who was a football player, and he had a football player friend with a pickup truck. And they would go get things. My son will never move that refrigerator again for me.
Well, does that television still work?
No,
Oh, okay.
I did find some tubes for it, but the cord is bad. So we can't plug it in. But at a recent garage sale, I found tubes.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
And they're the right tubes, but we can't fix the cord. So
The screen on that television is so little compared to what we know today.
yes, yeah. We always say to kids, you know, can you imagine that there was one TV in a house if they were lucky enough to have one, and
Yes.
it was black and white.
Yes.
That there's an erector set.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My husband has one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, and the sock
The
monkeys.
sock monkeys. Yeah, those are Rockford socks.
Oh, yes.
Those are my brothers and my monkeys because the church ladies made those for us. And then this is the cover of one of the brochures from the village, and with the quote from Philip Klutznick, "We aren't interested in houses alone. We're trying to create a better life for our people. We will have failed if all we do is produce houses." That's from February 14th, 1948.
Yep, greatest saying.
Yeah,
Well,
another thing that was real important about the village was that people only began to move in August of 1948, but by November of 48, they held a tent meeting to ask if they wanted to incorporate as a village before they were so big a town and had so many people that they had to become a city and have aldermen and a mayor. They wanted to have a village manager and a board of trustees here. And people voted yes. And that was the kickoff to people becoming socially involved in all the organizations, because there was a committee to consider incorporation. And once they incorporated in February 1st, 1949, then those people became the committee to organize schools, and on and on. And those people became village presidents and village trustees. And but the unique thing was the village, which was the landlord, allowed its tenants to rule them and tell them what they could do and vote on what they could do. And it kind of backfired because they hadn't figured out how many very bright people they had here.
yes.
And they drove hard bargains. And I have research material, different ones the presidents would have on how to build a village and what you do about this. And they'd lecture around the country. It was very studied. This community was studied. It was in popular magazines. It was in professional magazines. Before William White's book came out, he did in 1953 a series of 4 articles in Fortune magazine, and that had photographs of Park Forest in it. The book does not have the photographs. And here's sort of we got our bathroom sink, but we haven't built a wall for it and the medicine cabinet, so we don't have that up yet.
Yeah.
Do you have a felt circular skirt there? Do you have a felt circular skirt?
I have here, let's do Chatty Cathy and Tiny Chatty Baby. And,
I had a dollhouse like that.
Yeah, and Cooties.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
They still sell them, that game.
Yeah, it's different. Okay. On the bed right now, I have a circle skirt, but it's not a felt circle skirt.
Okay.
Yes. You know what I like circle skirts for, Jane?
What?
I was so shy and Mom would wear circle skirts, and they were the best things to hide behind because no one could see you.
Yeah.
So, Jane, we are nearing the end of our broadcast. Was there one more item you'd like to point out to us in the museum?
Well, I'll show my parents' wedding suits. I told Janine yesterday in the preliminary that my parents weren't from here, but they were a World War II couple. They got married in 1942. And these are their wedding suits from when she left her job in Washington, D.C. to go follow him down to Sopchoppy and marry him and be a camp follower for a while. So I love those. They aren't always going to be here, but they're here now.
Beautiful, beautiful. Jane, this has been so much fun to relive parts of the 1950s through the displays in your museum, and actually how you've told us the history of developing the community of Park Forest, Illinois in the late 40s and then growing it in the 50s. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. It's been marvelous. Do you want to turn that camera around so we can see you? There you go. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Yes.
All right.
Thank
you for having us.
You are very welcome.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
And
Jackie, folks, we do hope you enjoyed this topic for education, so you now know a bit more about the 1950s. So until next time, tell your friends or even your relatives about this 1950s fun chat. So until next time, toodaloo.